Well, hello there folks, and how is it going? Today I'm super excited to announce the beginning of a new chapter. If you guys had have watched the video, this kind of 6 months on YouTube video, I mentioned in that video that pursuing astrophotography was something that I was really looking forward to doing. And as kind of like part of all of that, I got a new tool to help aid me in that journey. So let me just give you a bit of background, because there is a big thanks that needs to go out into the wide world. You might remember I had the absolute privilege to be on the wonderful trip that happened in Svalbard earlier this year. And on that trip was a wonderful chap by the name of Dan. He is a wonderful astrophotographer. Long story short, we got talking, became friends, super duper nice guy. And he said to me that he had upgraded his gear recently and that he would be willing to send me his old stuff. Dan, I am so excited about this. So thank you so much for being just such a wonderful guy. Please, everybody, if you watch this, go check out his website. I'll absolutely leave a link in the description, because his deep sky astro stuff is just exceptional, and certainly setting the bar quite high for me, and I look forward to the chase. But nonetheless, what we're going to do here at the minute is I am going to unbox this wonderful new piece of equipment, and then we are going to take it out into the field. So this is the beginning, the first video of a new kind of series that I want to start to add into this YouTube channel, and that is me learning and getting better at astrophotography. Let's spin around and I'll move you guys over and give you a bit of a better view of what we're doing at the minute. So let's turn around. So here we are, folks. Hello. Let's give this a go. I've never unboxed anything on camera before. I don't have a knife, so I found this little screwdriver for the computers. So let's see. Little screwdriver is making short work of this, tell you that much. We can make this work. Oh. Ooh, a little note. Dan, fair play to you. That's a wonderful note. I shall keep that to myself. So thanks, dude. You're a pal. So here we go. This is the iOptron Sky Guider Pro. Now, I am very overwhelmed by all of this. Don't get me wrong. This is all totally new to me, and I am quite terrified. But needless to say, there's the instructions. Let's give a look-see under here. Box of Smarties. Oh my God. No, I'm looking at the pieces. I need to watch more. Onwards we go. Let's have a look here. So I'm going to assume, so Dan did say, hidden chocolate. Coffee crisp A. I'll eat that one after. So Dan did say that you can use this in 2 ways, which excites me to no end. One being, oh look, here we go. Fantrabulous. Wow. You know, something along this lines has been on my kind of bucket list item for, I don't even know how many years, since I first kind of heard of them. And sitting here holding that one now it's a real treat, and it has sparked all sorts of levels of creativity in my mind, and I thoroughly look forward to using it. Anyways, Dan said that you can use it in kind of 2 ways. This being the main kind of tracker, the engine, if you will. You can just attach the tripod mount and the camera straight to this if your kind of load is light enough. So say, for instance, the lens that I have is 18mm Batis, which would probably be light enough to go onto this with, say, my A7 III, which is going to be cool. And then with the counterweights that are in the box too, basically means that you can like load it up. So say, for instance, with the 100-400, it could possibly hold the weight of the camera and the 100-400, which then gives you a good reach into the night sky. But like I say, I do feel very overwhelmed by it all. God, there's a weight to it, eh? Holy moly. This is that counterbalance that enables you to essentially hook it on to the motor. Wonderful, wonderful. It's one of the wonderful things about photography and having the opportunity to travel and to meet people in the way, thankfully, that I do, is just getting to do that, to meet people and to make friends like that. And then you get mini Kit Kats sent to you in the post. Wonderful. So what I'm going to do now is, as exciting as that unboxing was, I'm going to eat the coffee crisp and then I'm going to eat the Kit Kat, and I am going to try and figure out how all of this works. So essentially what I'm going to do is stop for now and then just try piece the puzzle together. And then there is a location, it's like maybe 4-minute drive, a 3-minute drive from where I live, at a small little beach. Actually, if you go to my Instagram and scroll down a little bit, I did take a photograph there of the Milky Way like this time last year, and it's over like a derelict kind of house. And I figured that would be a good place to start because it's super close. I didn't want to fumble around in the dark, so many YouTubes to watch and lots of fun to look forward to. So I'll stop for now, and then we'll hit the field and get out and shoot some sky. So we shall see. So I will see you shortly. Here we are, folks. We are just about to head out the door, and hopefully the bank of cloud that I seen on the walk has gone, and we can get a clear view of the Milky Way. Tonight we're basically just going to take this piece of equipment, this Sky Guider Pro, and we are just going to try our best to, first of all, try and do a polar alignment, and then secondly, just point it at the Milky Way and press the button, and we will see what happens. I have no great expectations for any miraculous results. The aim of the game here is just to take it out, use it in the field, and just to kind of begin this journey of astrophotography using this Sky Guider Pro. So let's pack it up. Oh, but before we go, I have it turned on, and I don't actually know whether it's on or not. So it's on, but it doesn't look like it's moving. Is it supposed to move? I don't know what's going on here. Like, anyways, let's. I have the manual, so let's read over the manual and see if we can figure it out. So let's see what we can do. So here we are at the beach. It's becoming quite the theme here on this YouTube video, is being at the beach. It is pretty dark, so we are trying our best to light me with a head torch. I've got my head torch on here as well, just so we don't stumble and fall on the sand. The first thing that we really need to take into account is this tripod and the Sky Guider Pro. I'm going to turn my lamp on so Orla can see you. We have it here already on the tripod, and what we're going to have to do first and foremost is to make sure the tripod itself is level. So we've set the tripod and the mount itself level using the spirit level that is on the mount itself. And the next thing that we need to do is polar align the Sky Guider Pro with Polaris. And in order to do that, we have to jump through some hoops. So let's get to it. Okay, you ready? Yeah. So the first thing that we need to do in order to polar align the Sky Guider Pro is to find Polaris. Now, in order to do that, there are some tips and tricks that you can use, or if you're like me, you can use an app. So this app is really cool. It basically just, it gives you a tour of the night sky, so you can essentially look at all the constellations and all that kind of fun stuff. Now, I have already kind of set Polaris for us to be able to find it. So when I move, you'll see an arrow here on the screen, which essentially means we need to follow, and then we need to find Polaris, which is at the end of this polar bear, I suppose he is, isn't he? And baby polar bear. We have to essentially find that star through the polar scope of the Sky Guider Pro. So let's do that next. So one of the tips that I learned from YouTube when I was researching how to use this was to find a Polaris and then just to simply align Polaris just above the top of the Sky Guider Pro. So I'm going to do that first and foremost before we get into like the fine minutiae of maneuvering Polaris into the polar scope. So let's do that first. So I've roughly aligned Polaris above the Sky Guider Pro. And next thing that we need to do in order to like fine tune Polaris is to technically polar align the unit. Now I have this other app called Polar Align Pro. It's beyond me at the moment because this is all still very new to me, why I'm putting Polaris here and not like in the dead center of the crosshair, but this is just what I was told to do. So I'm going to follow their call. So, but again, the more I learn, obviously I'll tell you next time. I'm going to now align Polaris to this point on the through the polar scope. There's a back cap here that you take off, which I'll just throw into my pocket. Then there's like a cover here as well for the front. And what I'll do is I need to turn on the unit and I'll turn off my headlamp and I look through, and then I'll pop up on the screen now essentially what you do see when you look through the polar scope. It's essentially a crosshair and it's the same kind of design as what we've just seen on the app. So I'm going to look through now and see if I can do this. So I've got it now to a point. I need to get it just above the top right of the 0 of the 10. So let me have a quick look in there again. That we're essentially using these two here control the, I don't know the technical term for it, we're going to just say left and right. And then there's a twisty yoke at the front which controls the up and down. So I've essentially lined Polaris up to the top right corner of the 0 of the 10. Again, I'll pop it up on the screen so we're all there. So let's mount the camera on and let's get to it. This is my ball head and I've already attached the mounting thing. Came with the Polar Pro. These are all wonderfully technical terms, I know. Very simple, you just simply lock it in and then you twist this down to tighten it up. And now it's good and tight on, and then I'll go get the camera, pop it on, and then we're kind of business as usual. So I'm gonna just mount it on, and like I say, we'll, so when I mounted the camera, I noticed that it moved a bit, which kind of made me nervous that I may not have it like locked down correctly. So I'm just going to quickly pop my head through the scope again, just to make sure that we're still aligned correctly. Okay, let's try again. I've taken a couple of test shots, which I'll pop up on the screen for you now. And essentially these were just composition shots and focus shots. There's a dude fishing down here. So fair play to him fishing in this darkness. I don't know how he does it, but needless to say, I've had to point the camera up a little bit. Everything seems to be in focus and everything is good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set it again to 2.8. I'm going to set my ISO again to 3200 this time. This is again just a test so I can use as a reference to show you guys a kind of a before and after. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly take the picture and then I'll pop up on the screen the result of this particular image.
Welcome to the ASMR photography booth. As we take a break from my wild ramblings in the field, we can sit and enjoy this image, which was the first of our tests. It's a pretty bog standard image of the Milky Way, and one that, yeah, sure, it's a picture of the Milky Way. But as we zoom in, we notice, as I mentioned, the stars are trailing. So let's aim to improve that.
So that picture that you just seen was 30 seconds, 2.8 at ISO 3200. Now, here's the test. I'm going to turn the SkyGuider Pro on and then we're going to take the exact same picture and we're going to see if the stars are round. You'll notice on the picture that I just took that there is a slight bit of trailing. So the idea is that the SkyGuider Pro is ever going to slightly turn following the rotation of using Polaris here as our kind of anchor point. So let's turn it on, take the same picture and see what happens. So the picture just finished. Let's press the button and have a look and see what happens. Oh yeah, it sure did. Look at that. Wow, holy shit.
As you can tell, I was pretty shocked at the result looking at the back of the camera. And wow. If this is the result of a simple basic test using this SkyGuider Pro, then holy moly, I am absolutely in total awe of what I was just looking at. And zooming in on the images really shows you the power that this little machine has in order to capture the night sky in the way that I personally would love to see it. Just as a point of reference, this image is slightly edited. I did do a bit of noise reduction just using the inbuilt Lightroom noise reduction tool, the new one, which is really fabulous. I did just introduce a small bit of contrast and just very, 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 very light edits. I did the same to the previous one that I completely forgot to mention. So they are both slightly edited again, just to bring a bit of contrast into the scenes. But wow, I am absolutely awestruck at how wonderful these images are turning out.
What I'm going to do now is that this is essentially just a test to photograph the Milky Way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take the camera because I just want to get as much of the Milky Way into the frame as possible. And again, I'm going to just turn off the tracker, and I'm going to now just line up, just use them. I mean, it's so dark here, it's wonderful. I can see the Milky Way right in front of me, so it's kind of easy to kind of set it up for myself. So I just want to line it up a little bit. Now, I'm going to do the exact same test again, 30 seconds, 2.8 at 3200 ISO. So let's press the button and see what happens. It's actually not a bad picture composition, at least, because there's a bit of the sea in there as well at the bottom of the frame. So anyways, that's beside the point. But there is clear trailing in the image. I'm going to pop it up on the screen for you now, and I'm going to like zoom right in. And you'll see there is absolute clear, like, I mean, they're like footballs. No, they're not, because I'm Irish, and so they're like American footballs. So what I'm going to do again, I'm literally just going to do the same thing that I just did. I'm going to turn this tracker on. It's now on. I'm going to do the same photograph, same sentence. Let's press the button and see what happens. So the picture just took. So again, let's just have a quick look and have, so wow, oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, wow, holy shit, that's amazing. So that's amazing. I'm going to pop that up on the screen for you now, and I'll just do a comparison. It's amazing. It's pretty incredible, the results that we're getting using this tracker. One thing that I'm going to do just before we end this video, because this is probably going to be a very long video when I include the opening of the box and all that kind of fun stuff. I didn't want to have it too long a video, but I am going to now. I can't get over looking at the back of the screen because it's totally blown my mind right now. Essentially, the idea is behind having a star tracker like this is essentially means that the camera itself is now following the rotation of the sky. Ultimately, we're eliminating any possibility to introduce any star trailing, i.e. these American footballs that we talked about a moment ago. And what that can do for us is basically enable us to create stacked images, to get like super fine details, lower ISOs, have way less noise in our images. And this is and that's like the key, and that's the end goal, is to have like these super clean images of the night sky. So as a test, to leave this video, I'm going to connect my phone to the camera, and I'm going to take a 1 minute, maybe a 2 minute exposure, just to see what happens. So let's set that up, and let's take that now in just a second.
So with this final image, I could not be happier with the results. And on the surface, to everybody seeing this now, it may just look a bit meh and crap. For me, it truly signifies what this machine and camera combination are capable of. I am absolutely blown away by the little results that I have gotten from this shoot, and I could not be happier with the prospects and the future that's in store for me chasing the stars across the sky. Just before I talk about this particular image in a bit more detail, it's worth noting that I actually set up a time lapse. Foolishly, or naively more the point, thinking that I was going to get a time lapse of the Milky Way going across the sky. But I forgot to turn the tracker off. And what I ended up getting, it's 36 images, they're the exact same. And it dawned on me then, of course, we can stack these images to try and get a clearer frame. And that's precisely what I did right here with this image. The name of the program that I downloaded was called Sequenter. I just found it on Google, the Astro Backyard. I read a blog post that he had written about star stackers, and this one he recommended for Milky Way pictures. Totally blown my mind with the level of detail that I'm able to extract from the Milky Way, and particularly the core and the dust that's in the Milky Way, jaw on the floor kind of stuff. And again, it really just hits home the level of detail that I will now be able to photograph in the night sky, and I cannot wait to see more results.
Okay, so my mind is officially blown. It's incredible. But this is going to be such a rambly video that I really need to stop here. And if you've made it this far, I really commend your patience. And welcome to this new chapter in my photography journey. Dan, I am forever grateful at the opportunity that you have given me by, sending me this. It's so wonderful, and I thoroughly am thrilled for the future and exploring the night sky in a whole new way. I really am very, very grateful. So thank you so much. And to, again, anybody who made it this far, congrats. Needless to say, I've never taken a photograph that was 2.5 minutes long with round stars in the frame. So my mind is awash at the possibilities of everything that is to come. Usual crack. If you like this, give it a like. If you fancy subscribing, subscribe away and follow along on this new adventure as we explore the night sky together and my journey in getting better at this astrophotography stuff. So until then, take it easy, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.